What's up, fight fans? Welcome to my channel. This is Johnny, and in today's video we're going to be going over the statistics that nobody talks about. We're mentioning this weekend's unified title fight at 147 pounds between the IBF champion Jaron Ennis and the WBA champion Eimantas Stanionis. Before I continue, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's been with me since day one. Could you guys please remember to hit subscribe? 80% of you guys who watch my content haven't done that yet, so please do that now. That'll really help me out. Also, be sure to like this video, as well as go to the bottom of your screen right now and hit that bell notification button so you can be notified every time I put something out that's new. Thank you. All right, guys, boxing fans always say one word when we talk about big fights: unification. We want to see champions fight champions, and this is exactly what we're going to get this weekend in Atlantic City at the famed Boardwalk. I was there many moons ago. The only time I've ever seen a fight there, my childhood buddy, Kelly the Ghost Pavlik, knocked out Jermaine Taylor to become the middleweight champion of the world at 160 pounds. That seems like a whole lifetime ago. This is where that fight is taking place. The storied history of that facility, just Google it. You'll see all of the history there. With these two guys, they're trying to make history of their own. The WBA title, which is owned by the Lithuanian, and the IBF title, which is owned by the American, will be on the lines, but also the winner will also leave with the Ring Magazine belt. This was a division that was once ruled by Terrence Crawford. He was the undisputed champion after he beat Errol Spence Jr., but we know what happened after that. He left the division, fought at 54, vacated the belts, and he's getting ready for things at 168 pounds. Now, the champions, as they are to this day at 147, we talked about the two fighters, but the other two are Mario Barrios and Brian Norman Jr. The division is sorting itself out post Terrence Crawford, and the winner of this fight will be one step closer to assuring their dreams of being an undisputed champion in the weight class. With the American Jaron Ennis, I can't talk about it enough: his athleticism, his explosivity, all of the X factors that he brings into a fight. He's a traditional orthodox fighter, but he will switch stances, and he'll do this within the exchange. Now, he also uses angles very well. You watch him throughout a fight, you'll see him fight at range and at distance, and then you'll also see him fight in the clinch. He's very comfortable there. This is where he usually steps in, tilts his head off the center line, and throws those uppercuts. He also has a high fight IQ. This is a guy that when he sees you hurt, he's going in for the kill. His punch style, the angles he punches at, are a lot different throughout a fight than when they are when he sees you against the ropes and you're hurt. He starts sitting on things, and when Jaron Ennis starts throwing his whole body into his shots, he's probably going to get you out of there. Thus, his record of 33-0. We last saw him fight that rematch against Chukachin. With the Lithuanian, Stanionis, he comes with a more classic style. He's going to come at you with a high guard. He has an efficiency and economy of energy. He is a pressure-forward fighter, but he doesn't waste a lot of things. He's going to come at you with a power jab. High guard, power jab. He does a lot of good work in the clinch, and he has a very disciplined game plan. What he's going to want to do is pressure Jaron Ennis. He's going to want to make Jaron Ennis uncomfortable. He'll also punch with you, meaning that the one hole in Ennis's game, if the naysayers are going to talk about it, is sometimes when he has his opponent up against the ropes and Ennis is taking pot shots, he kind of stays in the action a bit too long. He kind of watches his work. He must be careful doing this against Stanionis, because the one thing Stanionis does really well is he'll catch and counter. He'll catch that, shell up, take a lot of shots on his guard, and then he'll fire back. So this is going to be one of the narratives of that fight. We last seen Stanionis in a fight last year in a decision victory against Gabriel Maestre. Well, the knock on Stanionis is going to be about his inactivity. Since 2020, he's only had a handful of fights. We know that multiple fights were canceled. We were supposed to see him against Virgil Ortiz multiple times due to health issues outside of his concern and also health issues on his side. He's had a lot of fights fall through. But come this weekend, fight fans are finally going to get to see a fight that a lot of us have been waiting for. Two champions at 147, and only time will tell to see who leaves victorious. Now what I want to do is take a closer look at what's at stake with this fight come Saturday night. Guys, Saturday night in Atlantic City at the iconic Boardwalk Hall will play host what could very well be one of the most electrifying showdowns of the year. Jaron Ennis takes on Eimantas Stanionis in a high-stakes welterweight clash with the WBA and IBF titles on the line, and the winner also leaving with the Ring Magazine belt. Jaron Ennis enters the bout with an eye-popping undefeated record of 33 wins, 29 of those coming by way of knockout. At just 27 years old, the Philadelphia native has already established himself as one of the most dangerous and complete fighters in the division. His blend of explosive aggression and razor-sharp technique makes him a nightmare matchup for anyone at 47. Add to that a considerable edge in both height and reach, and it's clear Ennis will be looking to control the distance and dictate the tempo early. But don't count out the Lithuanian warrior Eimantas Stanionis. Also undefeated with 15 wins and 9 knockouts to his name, Stanionis is a calculated, tough-as-nails competitor with a high ring IQ. While he may not have the same volume of professional experience as Jaron, he's proven he can handle the pressure. His recent victory over the hard-hitting Gabriel Maestre showcased not just his durability, but his ability to adjust and outthink his opponents on the fly. Both men fight out of the orthodox stance, but the contrast in styles, experience, and physical tools could be the X factors. Expect Ennis to bring the heat from the opening bell, looking to overwhelm Stanionis with pressure and power. Meanwhile, Stanionis will likely aim to weather the early storm, banking on his stamina, defense, and timing to turn the tide as the rounds go deep. It's speed versus grit, flash versus fundamentals, and it has all the makings of a can't-miss war in the welterweight division. Guys, right now, let's take a closer look at the career of Eimantas Stanionis and see what he's been up to. Guys, the Lithuanian fighter is 15-0 with 9 knockouts. He carries into the ring a 60% career knockout to win ratio, and out of 2,494 welterweights in the world, he's ranked number 7. The Lithuanian fighter is a 30-year-old orthodox fighter standing at 5'8" with a 68-inch reach. We last saw him fight Gabriel Maestre, 6-0 UD in the 12th. Butayev, 14-0, split decision in the 12th. Colazzo, due to a headbutt, it was called a no contest. Delorme, 25-4 UD in the 12th. Gonzalez, 19-3, knockout in the 9th. With Stanionis, what you're going to get is a textbook technical fighter. He comes out in that orthodox stance. He takes his time. He's what you would call a pressure fighter, but he doesn't waste a lot of things. So I wouldn't really call him a volume puncher, but he's going to be on you the whole time. He wants to establish his footwork. He wants to establish his jab, and he wants to put you on the back foot. Like I said, he uses that high guard to play defense. He ducks a lot, but he'll stay in range to make you think that he's going to exit, but he does little footwork movements to duck, to then come back up on levels and punch with his opponents. This could be very exhausting for his opponents, especially if Stanionis doesn't respect them. I feel early on it's going to come down to, can Stanionis get on his jab early, get Jaron Ennis's respect, and force Ennis to make the adjustments rather than Stanionis making the adjustments. Now let's take a closer look at Boots' resume and see what he's been up to. Guys, Jaron Ennis is 33-0 with 29 knockouts. He carries in the ring an 88% career knockout to win ratio, and out of 2,494 welterweights worldwide, he's ranked number 1. He is the IBF world champion, and the 27-year-old is an American Orthodox fighter standing at 5'10" with a 74-inch reach. His adoring fans call him Boots. We last saw him fight Chukachin, 24-2 UD in the 12th. Avanishin, 30-4, knockout in the 5th. Villa, 26-1, knockout in the 10th. Chukachin, 21-1 the first time, UD in the 12th. Custio Clayton, 19-0, knockout in the 2nd. He only has a handful of fights that he didn't win by knockout, and 2 of those fights were against the same guy, a very tough Jaron Chukachin. Jaron Ennis is normally in this division going to be always the bigger guy. He fights at range very well, but like I said earlier, he does like fighting in the pocket. He changes angles very well, and he moves his head off the midline. His body work is great. His hand speed is great. All the intangibles, like we already spoke about, are going to be on Jaron Ennis' side. It's really going to come down to, will he be able to dictate what Stanionis does by getting Stanionis off his game and forcing Stanionis to deter from that jab-heavy game and that pressure-heavy style, and Ennis' power being the great equalizer on that and getting Stanionis to take a step back. When I look at both fighters side by side, Ennis is the younger guy by a couple years. He's the more experienced fighter. He's been way more active, 33 wins, 29 knockouts. Stanionis' knock on him is his inactivity. Hopefully he's coming into this fight with a full and clean bill of health. Boots is the taller guy, the longer guy. The power advantage is on Boots' side. It's going to come down to who's going to make their opponent make a mistake. Can Stanionis force Boots into his style of fight? Can Boots do what he always does and get Stanionis to make a mistake, drop those hands, and catch him with those looping hooks around the guard? So that's going to be another narrative that's going to be pretty interesting. Going into the weekend, let's look at the Las Vegas odds and see where the bettors are putting their money. All right, guys, if you're down here in Australia, let's pull out the sports bet app. On the money line, Jaron Ennis is a big favorite. $1.16, meaning if you put $100 on Ennis just to win, you only get $16 in return. Eimantas Stanionis is a $5.75, meaning if you put 100 on Eimantas to win the fight, you're going to get your 100 back plus 475. Now, when I'm looking at the prop bets, there's some pretty exciting prop bets that I've had a look at that I kind of like, so let's look at those real quick. All right, the method of victory. If you take Boots Ennis to win a points or decision, it's 2-1, so $100 doubles your money. But if you take that bet and Boots knocks the Lithuanian fighter out, you lose your bet. Jaron Ennis to win by knockout, $2.60 to 1. Meaning you put 100 back, you get your money in return plus 160. Considering as a knockout artist, that seems like a pretty decent bet. The draw's 21 to 1. Stanionis to win a decision is 8 to 1. $100 gets you your money back plus another 700. Stanionis to knock out Boots, to be the first to beat Boots and to knock him out, 13 to 1. So when you're looking at the odds on Boots' side, it's almost a 50-50 considering the Boots fans are picking him to both beat Stanionis and on the same token picking him to knock Stanionis out. With the Lithuanian, his fans are picking him more likely to win a decision. So to outpace, outpressure, outpoint Boots rather than to knock him out. Now, when I'm thinking about my money, where I want to go with this and my prediction, how do I bet against an undefeated knockout artist with the intangibles as Jaron Ennis? How do I bet against a guy who's physically gifted, has a speed advantage, has the power advantage like Jaron Ennis, who's been more active? With Eimantas Stanionis, this is hands down his biggest step up in competition. He did have a good fight last fight against a gritty opponent, but the guy only had 6 pro fights. With Jaron Ennis, you have to give all of the factors to his side. So I fully expect Jaron Ennis to display his skill set. I think he's going to dominate the Lithuanian fighter. I think that style, even though it's simple, it can be complex to a lesser fighter, but I think Boots is going to figure that out. People have to remember, this is a son of a former fighter. This is a son of a coach. Jaron Ennis's probably most underrated game is his fight IQ. Watch how he fights. He reads what his opponent does, and then through that, he uses his high arsenal of skill set to depict what he does. And I think that's exactly what he's going to do. It should be close early. It should be a fun fight early. I think Boots drowns him. I'm picking Jaron Ennis to knock out the Lithuanian. In the comment section below, you don't have to agree with me. Let me know how you think this fight goes down. Who's leaving with the belts? Is it going to be the American or the Lithuanian? Also, guys, if you haven't watched my breakdown on the co-feature on this card, another exciting fight between Raymond Ford, the Savage, and the Cleveland, Ohio product, Thomas Matisse, the Gunnerman, stay tuned to the channel because that's coming up right now.